Hi viewers, I am Jeswami, Assistant Professor of Zoology. Today we are going to discuss the classification of class Reptilia. Reptiles are classified based on the presence and absence of the temporal fauci. Presence and absence of the temporal fauci. Based on that, the class Reptilia get categorized into 6 subclasses, namely Anapsida, Ichthyopterygia, Synaptosauria, Lepidosauria, Archosauria, and the Synapsida. Although there are 6 subclasses, out of the 6, of about 3 subclasses were extinct today. They have lived once upon a time and they have get extinct. And remaining classes, apart from the subclass Anapsida, we have seen only one order, that is Chelonia, where the terrapins, turtles and testudos were included. And apart from the Lepidosauria, there are 2 orders, namely Rhynchocephalia and the Squamata. Whereas from the subclass Archosauria, we will see only one order, that is Crocodilia. Remaining all Ichthyopterygians, Synaptosaurians and the Synapsida organisms, they were get extinct. They were no more. So that while we are discussing the classification of class Reptilia, only we will study the characteristic features and the relevant examples of Chelonia, Rhynchocephalia, Squamata and Crocodilia. Let us see the different orders and their specialties of the organisms. First subclass is the Anapsida. Apsida means temporal fauci, and the Anapsida is nothing but the absence of apsids, absence of temporal fauci. Temporal fauci are absent in this subclass. Why the temporal fauci are absent? Because the dermal bones form a complete roof over the skull, so that there are no temporal fauci at all. This subclass Anapsida divide into 2 orders, namely Cartilosauria and the Chelonia. The Cartilosaurians were extinct. These are the extinct reptiles. So the living forms are included under the Chelonia order. Order Chelonia. See the specialities of the characteristic features of the order Chelonia. As we know, there are no temporal fauci at all in the skull, so that is known as the anapsid skull. That is known as the anapsid skull. And in the Greek language, Chelone means turtle. Chelone means turtle. And the Chelonians are the organisms. They are most ancient reptiles. Most ancient reptiles. They have lived from Triassic period to today. They have lived from Triassic period. And the organisms which are included are the freshwater terrapins and the seawater turtles and the terrestrial testudos are included. So all of them, they are the tortoises basically. So those which live in freshwater, they are named as the terrapins, and those which lived in the seawater, turtles, and those which lead the terrestrial mode of life, they are known as the testudos. All of them are included under the order Chelonia. Then the body is looking like a box, short and broad. The body divisible into head, neck, trunk and the tail. So the body is covered by the exoskeleton, but not the head, neck and the tail. And as we know, limbs are paddle like in aquatic forms, and they are provided with the claws. Why? Because they have to swim in the water, so that they modified into paddle like structures. Whereas in the terrestrial organisms, they use it for walking. Trunk enclosed by a dorsal carapace, very important bit, and ventral plastron. The trunk of the tortoises enclosed by a dorsal sheath, which is known as a carapace, and ventrally it is known as a plastron. And one more important thing is teeth are absent, edentates. Teeth are absent, but the jaws are covered by horny sheath. Jaws are covered by horny sheath. Sternum is absent, and they have only one nostril. They have only one nostril. It is also very important bit in the competitive examination point of view. They have only one nostril, so that they are called as a monorrhina. Mono means single, rhina nostril, nasal aperture. Then some of them, they exhibit the cloacal respiration. Usually the respiratory organs are the lungs, but the marine turtles, they exhibit cloacal respiration. It is also a specific feature of the chelonians. And there is a small blood vessel which connects the systemic aorta and pulmonary aorta, or systemic and pulmonary arches of the heart. They are connected through a small blood vessel which is known as the ductus botalli. Ductus botalli is a small blood vessel which connects systemic and pulmonary arches. Next, the cloacal aperture is longitudinal. Males possess a single penis. Males possess a single penis. Oviparous organisms. These are oviparous organisms, egg-laying organisms. See the examples. This is the Trionyx, which lives in the fresh water, so that it is known as the terrapin. This is also terrapin. Coming to the turtles, there are various turtles which are successfully living in the oceans. So loggerhead turtle, green turtle, leatherback turtle, flatback turtle, hawksbill turtle, Kempu ridley turtle, olive ridley turtle. Like that, there were many turtles. See, these are the examples of the turtles. So the beak of the turtle looks like the hawkbeak, hawkbill turtle. So this is the Chelonia midas, commonly called as the leatherback turtle, loggerhead turtle, spotted turtle, soft shell turtle, and these are the testudos, terrestrial tortoises, which successfully lead their life in the terrestrial environment. So these are the testudos. Hermann testudo. Testudo galapagos. This is the largest turtle, and of about, it may live for 300 years. They have the longest lifespan. Chelonians have the longest lifespan. The Testudo abingdoni, which usually seen in the Galapagos Islands, so they may live of about 300 years. So this is the Testudo abingdoni. Coming to the subclass Paropsida, only one pair of temporal fossae are present. They are placed high upon the brain, but these are the extinct forms. They were no more. This subclass Paropsida are divided into two superclasses or two groups, ichthyosaurs and the plesiosaurs. So they became extinct at the end of the Cretaceous period, when actually the dinosaurs were extinct. During that time, these were also got extinct. This is the Paropsida. And coming to the subclass Diapsida, they have two temporal fossae, and these are the most successful and diverse group of the reptiles. And the Diapsida divided into two superorders, Lepidosauria and the Archosauria. Lepidosauria represented by two orders. One is the Rhynchocephalia, another one is the Squamata. Whereas the Archosauria represented by the another order which is known as the Crocodilia. See the order Rhynchocephalia from the Lepidosauria. If we observe the characteristic features of the Rhynchocephalia, they have the diapsid skull, two number of opsids are present, and the only one living genus of this order is Sphenodon. Sphenodon is the only one living genus of the order Rhynchocephalia. They are commonly called as the Hutteria or Tautara lizards. Hutteria or Tautara lizards. They have evolved during the Triassic periods, and till today they have they do not underwent any changes in their shape, size and structure, so that they are known as the living fossils. No changes were made right from Triassic period to today. So the Rhynchocephalians, commonly known as living fossils, and usually they found in Bay of Plenty Islands. This is the name of island, Bay of Plenty Islands of the New Zealand. They usually found in the Bay of Plenty Islands of the New Zealand. They are always showing the symbiosis with the puffins birds. Then these are also known as the beak-headed reptiles. Rhynchocephalians are also known as the beak-headed reptiles. They may grow up to 2 feet length, and usually they are leading the nocturnal mode of life. That is, they comes out from the burrows or from their habitats only during the night time, nocturnal, and they live in burrows. And see the some other characters. The dorsal side of the body, it will be in the light green color, otherwise in the olive color. Lateral side we will see the white spots. Lateral side we will see the white spots. The body looks like the lizard, and the body covered by granular scales, but in the dorsomedian line the scales form a median crest. Actually, the body covered by the granular scales, but in the dorsomedian line, the scales which are present in the dorsomedial line, they form a median crest. Next, head bears a degenerate pineal eye, but which is non-functional. That is located in the parietal bone of the skull. Parietal bone of the skull, but it is degenerated pineal eye. Then coming to the limbs, there are two pairs of pentadactylous limbs. There are 4 limbs with 5 digits each, which are provided with the claws, but they are relatively weak. 2 pairs of limbs are relatively weak. And come to the dentition, acrodont and monophyodont type of dentition is seen. Acrodont is they are attached on the upper surface of the jaw, and monophyodont they get only once in the lifetime. The teeth are comes only once in the lifetime. And here we will see ductus botalli and ductus caroticus. Both of them are present. Ductus botalli is a blood vessel which connects the systemic and the pulmonary aorta, whereas the ductus caroticus connects the systemic and carotid arch. So both of them are present. Both ductus botalli and ductus caroticus are present. And the vertebrae are amphicoelous vertebrae, and there is a pro-atlas in between skull and as well as the atlas. These are the specialties of the rhynchocephalians. And the cloacal aperture is transverse, and urinary bladder is present. And the most important thing, when you compare all the reptiles, living reptiles, here this is the only organism which has no copulatory organ in the male. There is no copulatory organ at all in the male. That is, copulatory organs are absent. This is also very, very important. So presence of amphicoelous vertebrae is also important. Although the copulatory organ is absent, the fertilization is always internal fertilization takes place. That is only happen due to the cloacal apposition. The cloaca of both male and female, they come in contact with each other in the opposite directions, and thereby there will be a mutual exchange of the sperms from male to female takes place, and thereby the female lay the eggs. These are the oviparous. These are the oviparous animals. So there are only 2 species, only one genus, that is Spinodon functatus and Spinodon guntheri. Spinodon functatus and the Spinodon guntheri. Spinodon, curved dentin. Dentin, it is somewhat curved. So the dentin which makes the teeth, that is somewhat curved. That is the meaning of the Spinodon. Spinodon functatus, Spinodon guntheri are the examples. Then see the example. This is the Spinodon, Tartara lizard or Hutteria. Spinodon functatus. See the color of the animal, that is the olive green or light green color on the dorsal side, and whereas in the lateral side we will see the white spots. Here pentadactylous clawed forelimbs and hind limbs are present. They are somewhat relatively weak, and the entire body covered by the scales, granular scales, but in the dorsomedian region the scales which are present, they form a crest. They form a crest. So the body is divided into head, neck, trunk and the tail region. Head, neck, trunk and tail region. The size may be grown up to 2 feet length. Then further we will see. So this is also the Spinodon. So here we will observe the pentadactylous, relatively weak forelimbs and as well as the hind limbs. So the entire body covered by the granular scales, but here we will see the dorsomedian crest. Dorsomedian crest. So this is the living fossil which is commonly known as the. See here we will observe this is the parietal bone which has a small hole through which actually the third eye, pineal eye, may be comes out. So here we will see the dentin, acrodont and monophyodont type of dentin, sphenodon. So this is the skull of the skull and the endoskeleton of the sphenodon. Right from the Triassic period till today, there were no changes, so that is known as a living fossil. So it looks like the Calotes or lizard-like animal. Coming to the another order, which is known as the Squamata. Here in the Squamata, the name itself indicating squamatus means scaly. So the exoskeleton made up of epidermal scales. Otherwise the body covered by the scales. It is the meaning of the squamatus. So this is the largest order of all living reptiles. If you compare, this is the largest order from the reptiles. Body is covered by epidermal scales. Body is covered by epidermal scales. Here acrodont and pleurodont type of dentition is seen. They have protrusible tongue. That is, protrusible tongue means anteriorly the tongue is attached to the floor of the oral cavity, but the posterior side it is hanging freely into the oral cavity. So while it has to capture the prey, then that will be thrown out, sent out from the mouth, protrusible tongue. Two pairs of limbs are present, except in snakes and some lizards like the Ophiosaurus, limbless lizards. And skull is a modified diapsid type, and all of them they have the movable quadrate. Quadrate is the bone which is frequently seen in the skull of the squamates, that is lizards and the snakes. See some other characters. Vertebrae are procoelous. So most of the reptiles they have the procoelous vertebrae, but the rhynchocephalians have the amphicoelous vertebrae. That is the specialty of the rhynchocephalia. Abdominal ribs or gastrally are rudimentary or absent. Ductus carotis is present, a small blood vessel which connects the systemic and carotid arches. Tail is long and in some of them it is prehensile. In the males, they have one pair of hemipenis as the copulatory organ. Some of them oviparous, they lay the eggs, and some of them they are viviparous, they give birth to the offsprings directly without the eggs. And the order Squamata is divided into two suborders. One is the Lacertilia, another one is the Ophidia. In Lacertilia, all the calotes, lizards, dragons, all of them were included, chameleons, and wherein the Ophidia, all the snakes were included. Order Squamata is divided into two suborders. Suborder Lacertilia includes lizards, calotes, chameleon, varanus, and the Komodo dragons. All of them are included under the Lacertilia, whereas in the Ophidia, all the snakes are included. So let us see the suborder Lacertilia. If you see the characteristic features of the Lacertilia, Lacertilians are terrestrial and some of them are arboreal, and some of them they lead fossorial mode of life, that is they live in burrows. Usually two pairs of pentadactylous limbs are present except in Ophiosaurus, that is the limbless lizard. So limbs are absent in the Ophiosaurus, except that all of them they have the two pairs of pentadactylous limbs. Eyes protected by movable eyelids. In the ears we will see external, middle and internal ears along with the tympanum. Tympanum, external, middle and internal ears are present. Mouth is opened up to a moderate size, not greater sizes, but it is opened up to moderate size. And one more important thing, the lizard jaw bones do not disarticulate. So there is no disarticulation at all. Always they are articulated. And premaxilla bear teeth. The teeth are present in the premaxillary region. Sternum and episternum are present. Sternum in the thoracic region, sternum and the episternum are present. Here, quadrate bone and pterygoid bone. Quadrate bone and the pterygoid bone are movable in the skull. Quadrate bone and the pterygoid bone are movable in the skull region. Lungs, kidneys and gonads are symmetrical, paired and symmetrically arranged in the body. Urinary bladder is present and males contain hemipenis as their copulatory organ. Males show hemipenis. See the examples are Hemidactylus or gecko, wall lizard. Hemidactylus. This is also usually seen on trees. This is the gecko. The Draco flying lizard, which is usually seen in Kerala. In Kerala forest, it is usually seen. Draco. These all are images of Draco. And this is the Calotis, garden lizard. We will commonly call them as garden lizard. So this is the chameleon. So in the chameleon, we will see some special features. First one is the tail, prehensile tail. Prehensile tail. So the tail is somewhat make it into rounds. And here we will see the syndactylous status of the limbs. All the limbs, the digits are not at all get separated. All of them fused together. And chromophagy, that is the ability of changing of its colors in accordance to the environment. And independent movement of the eyeballs. Independent movement of the eyeballs. And the tongue is almost all very lengthy. See, it is a mini chameleon. See it is 1.5 times more than the length of the body of the chameleon. The length of the tongue. So it is a protrusible tongue. Chameleon. It is a Varanus. Monitor lizard, Varanus. It is a Komodo dragon, largest lizard, Komodo dragon. And this is the Heloderma. So most of the people, they think that the lizards which you will see on walls and other tree lizards, the people, they may think that they were poisonous. So this is the poisonous lizard. Poisonous lizard, Heloderma, which is seen in Germany. Heloderma. This is also the Heloderma, poisonous lizard. So this is the Phrenosoma, horned toad of Mexico. So here you will see the horns, horned toad of Mexico. So looks like this. It can send out, when it was disturbed, it can send out the blood from its eyes. It injects out the blood from its eyes in order to cause some sort of fear in the predator, otherwise in its enemies. Ophiosaurus, this is the limbless lizard. Lizard, but without any legs, forelimbs and hind limbs. This is the Ophiosaurus. So these all are lizards and the lesser tilians. Now come to the Ophidia. All the snakes are included. So snakes are included under the suborder Ophidia. They are worldwide in distribution, but in New Zealand and Ireland there were no snakes at all. There are no snakes at all. Worldwide in distribution except in New Zealand and Ireland. The body is elongated, but limbs and girdles, pectoral girdle and pelvic girdle, forelimbs and hind limbs are absent. But once upon a time, the snakes are also having the legs. That will be evidenced by the presence of vestigial hind limbs in the python. Vestigial hind limbs are present in the python reticulators. So that is the evidence that previously during the evolution of the snakes, so they have the limbs. So as the age advances, as the evolution process advances, due to the adaptations which were made for the successful fossorial mode of life, they lost their legs. So that is evidenced by the presence of vestigial hind limbs in the python. Tongue is bifid, divided into two portions, protrusible and bifid tongue is the specialty of the snakes. What is the main function of the tongue is, tongue serves to collect scent particles from the soil and introduce them into olfactory organs, which are called as the Jacobson's organs. Jacobson's organs. They have the highest capacity to see the olfaction, smell sense. They have the tremendous sense of smell. Next, two halves of the lower jaw are connected by the ligament, and that ligament helps in the wide opening of the mouth that helps the snakes to swallow large sized animals. So that two halves of the lower jaw are connected by a ligament that helps in the wide opening of the mouth that leads to swallow, that helps to swallow the large sized animals by the snakes. In the poisonous snakes, the anterior maxillary teeth modified into fangs in order to insert into the body of the prey and in order to inject the poison, and the superior labial salivary glands, they are modified into poisonous glands. Anterior maxillary teeth modified into fangs, whereas the superior labial salivary glands, they are modified into poisonous glands. And one more thing, zygospines and zygontra are found in the vertebrae. This is the specialty of the snakes. Zygospines and the zygontra are found in vertebrae. Quadrate, pterygoid, ectopterygoid and maxilla are movably articulated in the skull. All the four bones can easily move in the skull. What are they? Quadrate bone, pterygoid bone, ectopterygoid bone and the maxilla. And the important organs like lungs, kidneys and gonads are asymmetrically arranged, otherwise asymmetrical, because the left side organs, left lung, left kidney and left gonad are reduced, or in some of the organisms they may be absent. Urinary bladder is absent, pineal body is absent in brain, then columella is connected to skin to receive vibrations. Columella oris, it is a small organ which is present in the inner ear. So that is always attached to the skin and thereby it can receive the vibrations from the earth. Tympanum, external and middle ears are absent. External middle ear along with the tympanum are absent, but internal ear is present. Along with the help of the internal ear, the organism may not hear the airborne sounds. Airborne sounds may not be audible to the snakes. Eyelids and nictitating membrane are absent apart from the eyes. Eyelids and nictitating membrane are absent. Only a thin membrane protects the eyes. And one more important thing, snakes do not exhibit the sexual dimorphism. By visualizing the morphology of the snakes, we may not determine whether it is a male or female. And the copulatory organs in the male are spiny, often spiny. Most snakes are oviparous, but the sea snakes like the Hydrophis enhydrina and the vipers, that is pitless and pit vipers, Russell's viper, Encystodon himalayanus, all of them, they are the viviparous animals. They are viviparous animals. Let us see some of the examples of the snakes. This is the sea snake, Hydrophis. The head, and this is the tail. Tail is flattened to swim. Flattened tail is the characteristic feature of the sea snakes. See the head and tail. Tail is almost flattened and wide. This is the Echis carinata, commonly called as the Pursa. Commonly called as the Pursa, right? So the fundamental feature is they have a arrow shape and the head region, arrow mark on the head region, Echis carinata. So here see arrow mark. See, this is the usually seen in all the village areas, rural areas. Naza is a scientific name. Cobra is a common name. See here, we will see a spectacle mark on the hood. Presence of the hood and spectacle mark on the hood are the fundamental features of the external morphological features of the cobra. So some of them, they are monoocellus, only one spectacle mark, one eye mark is present. This is the white cobra, milk white cobra, and this is the king cobra, Ophioophagus hanna. Ophio means that is snakes. Ophio means snakes, whereas phagus means swallowing or eating animal. It feeds on small snakes, so that it is known as a king cobra. Presence of hood is a fundamental feature of the king cobra. So it is the spitting cobra. It spits its poison on the prey. Black-necked spitting cobra. Black-necked spitting cobra. So this is the Russell's viper. Otherwise, we may call it as a chain viper. So diamond-shaped spots are present on the dorsomedian line along with the lateral sides. Chain viper, known as a pitless viper. There is no loreal pit at all. So they have the hemotoxin. This is the Encystodon himalayanus. Encystodon himalayanus. Here we will see a loreal pit in between eye and as well as the nostril. These are the pit vipers. So this is the Bungarus banded krait. It is highly poisonous. About the poison of the Bungarus is 14 times more dangerous, more poisonous than the cobra's poison. Bungarus fasciatus, Bungarus caeruleus, banded krait. This is the coral snake usually found in America. Coral snake, deadly poisonous. this is the non-poisonous snake, which is called as a Thias geminicus, or rat snake. It feeds on rat. This is the friend of the farmers. This is the friend of the farmers. And this is the Erixjani, commonly called as the double-headed snake, because the tail is almost all blunt, looks like the head region. Double-headed snake. And this is the Dryophis, which usually lives on the trees. It is also non-poisonous. The largest non-poisonous is the Python reticulatus, python. It is not at all poisonous. It follows the organism. Otherwise, it kills the organism by it surrounds the organism, and due to the suffocation, due to the improper respiration, the organism may died off. So this is the largest python. So in some of the North America forests, we may find out the anaconda, which may grown up to 16 feet length. So these are the non-poisonous and poisonous snakes. Come to the subclass Diapsida, where the skull possesses two temporal fossae, and these are also most successful and diverse group. And just now, apart from this, we have discussed about the Rhynchocephalia and as well as the Squamata. Now there is another subclass, the superorder, that is the Archosaria. The best example is the order Crocodilia. Let us see the characteristic features of the crocodilians. These are the largest living amphibious reptiles. These are the largest living amphibious reptiles. When you compare all the size, shape and the length of the reptiles, this is the largest animals are included under the Crocodilia order. Then body is very large, divided into head, neck, trunk and tail, and these are the animals which have the long flattened snout. If you observe the crocodile, they have long flattened snout. One pair of eyes, one pair of ears and one pair of nostrils, they are located at the top of the head. So this is adaptation of the aquatic animals. It is adaptation to live in the aquatic environment. Body is covered by bony plates like the scutes or epidermal sheets. Body is covered by bony plates or the scutes or the epidermal sheets. And the dorsal plates are healed. Then forelimbs are shorter than the hind limbs. Hind limbs are very large and very strong, whereas the forelimbs are very short. Feet are webbed. That is adaptation to live in the aquatic environment again. And limbs are adapted for walking and swimming. It is an amphibious animal. So although it lives in the water, so during the breeding period, it lays its eggs in the bank shores of the rivers and oceans. So most of them, they are freshwater forms. So except the Crocodylus porosus, remaining all are the freshwater forms. And the tail is laterally compressed and it is useful for swimming. And the presence of proatlas is the fundamental feature of the crocodiles. Proatlas is a small bone which is located prior to the atlas. Before the atlas, in between skull and the atlas, it is located. The quadrate bone is immovable. Immovable quadrate is present. And vertebrae are procellus. So in all of them, these are procellus except in the Rhynchocephalia. Vertebrae are amphicoelous and Rhynchocephalia. Remaining all, they have procoelous vertebrae. Ribs are double-headed at one side with the capitulum, another side with the tuberculum. Ribs are double-headed with the capitulum and the tuberculum. Abdominal ribs are the gastrally are present. Abdominal ribs or gastrally are present. And one more fundamental feature, there is a foramen of Panizza, a small aperture. Foramen means aperture. Foramen of Panizza is located where actually the left and right systemic aorta cross one another. At the same place, there is a foramen of Panizza. It is a small aperture. It is a very, very important bit. Foramen of Panizza, it is a small aperture located where actually the left and right systemic aorta cross one another on the heart. Cloacal aperture is longitudinal. Cloacal aperture is longitudinal. Usually urinary bladder is absent. Males have a single grooved penis. Males have a single grooved penis. Just now we have discussed. Among all the reptiles, the only one organism that do not contain the copulatory organ in the male is the Spinodon. Remaining all, they may have the penis or hemipenis. So like that here, there is a grooved single penis. Single grooved penis is present in the male crocodiles. Whereas the females, they have the clitoris. Females have the clitoris. So these all are oviparous animals, and the eggs are covered by the calcium carbonated shell, calcareous shell, so that they are known as the cleidoic eggs. They are known as the cleidoic eggs. Now, apart from the crocodilia, we may observe some mammalian characters. Thecodont type of dentition is seen. This is the mammal character, because all the reptiles, they have acrodont or pleurodont type of dentition. Pseudopalate is seen for the first time in the vertebrates. This is also the character feature of mammals. Diaphragm is a organ which separates the thoracic and abdominal cavities. This is also the feature of mammals. And the heart is divided into 4 chambers. 4-chamber heart is also the character feature of the mammals. So these are the 4 mammalian characters. Thecodont type of dentition, presence of pseudopalate or false palate, diaphragm which divides the thoracic and abdominal cavities, and 4-chambered heart. See the examples. This is the crocodile. The body is covered by scutes and the flattened tail. So 4 limbs are relatively weak. Here thecodont type of dentition. So nostrils, eyes, so they are located on the top of the head. Long snout. Crocodile porosus. This is the marine crocodile. Alligator. This is the gavialis, which is seen in the river Ganga. And come to the subclass Synapsida. In this subclass, all the extinct forms are included. They have only one temporal fossa on either side, on the lower side of the temporal region of the skull. They have only one temporal fossa on the lower side of the temporal region of the skull. They were dominant and they were successfully lead their life during the Permian period. But afterwards they got extinct. The fossils of all the synapsids, they were found in Mesozoic era layers. Mesozoic era. At the starting of this era, they showed reptilian characters, but at the end of this era, they became like the mammals. But they were extinct animals. So these all are the subclasses and superorders, orders of the class Reptilia. The Reptilia class, today only 4 orders of the organisms were are still alive, namely Chelonia, Rhynchocephalia, Squamata, and the Crocodilia. Remaining all the subclass animals were get extinct. This is all about the classification of the reptiles. Thank you one and all.